Continuing to the Marvin Bonsoir, Buenas noches, Buenas noches to investors in North and South America. Minasawa Konnichiwa. 안녕하세요, good afternoon to investors in Asia. Buenas dinas, good morning, добрый утро. Good morning to investors in Europe and Africa. I'm Daniel speaking from Hong Kong. It's August 2nd here, Sunday, 1 p.m. in Hong Kong, 1 a.m. in Wall Street, 6 a.m. in London. Welcome to our weekly review and outlook of the American stock market. This week, I have 3 main points to talk about. Number 1, risk of leverage trading. Number 2, individual stocks on 940 points of NASDAQ rising. Number 3, falls and real head and shoulders. Subscribe, like, and share. Remember to click the bell, please. The past week has been a dramatic week for the stock market. The Korean stock market had a historical record of 2 consecutive circuit breakers and led to a drop in NASDAQ, which already had broken down the baseline of the range. The Kospi was already in bear market, and the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index had already fallen 28% and also in bear market. So when NASDAQ broke down, it aroused a lot of worries about the AI bubble. For Tesla, NVIDIA, and West Magnificent 7 also had different drops. The reason for the drop in the Korean market was due to leverage trading of 2 times on Samsung and SK Hynix. But some people still said 2 times is not so much. Why worry? Can't you see that trading currencies and gold are 20 times leveraged? For they are multiplied several times more by various ETFs. That is the point why those having traded in leverage are mostly getting lost, for they are for professional traders and not amateur traders. But few people would believe in such warm reminders until the liquidation of the AI hedge fund situational awareness. They have 4 times leverage trading and were forced to liquidation. People know that for a medical doctor and lawyer, they have to get a first degree before they get this second degree and still have to pass the professional exam before executing their job duty. But for finance, a lot of people do not even enter the business college, not passing any exam and experience, still want to do institutional jobs like leverage trading or short selling. That is, a lot of amateur traders or retail traders are doing the trading of professional traders or institutional traders and neglected the warm reminders. So when big shots pull the rug, they will have a complete collapse. That's why I always said, trade according to the risk you can bear, such as the buying of SpaceX. For those that purchase at $200 when it falls, just wait for $100 to enter. You can buy 2 lots using the same amount of money. But if you use 4 times leverage, like Leon Armstrong, the god of stocks in AI, you will be forced to liquidate for every drop of $1 equals to $4. Before reaching 100, you will be clear out and lose everything. So even if it at once rebound to $200 or $400 or $600, it's none of your business. The second item is concerning the rise of 940 points of NASDAQ on Thursday. How it comes? Have you watched my last video? I pointed out that MSFD occupies 7.26%, which is the 3rd place in NASDAQ 100. The result announcement made the market turn upward, form a strong pullback over the baseline and intruded into the original descending triangle and made the breakthrough become a false breakthrough. But how comes these 940 points? Please be noted that MSFD contributed 120 points and rose 70%. LRCX contributed 30 points and rose 18.5%. MU 25 points and rose 18.1%. INTC 23 points and rose 13%. Amazon comes 5th for 20 points of 4.8%, but it had a dramatic jumping gap up of the double bottom and above all 5 major average lines. NVIDIA only has 60 points of 2.0%, but gained back the ranking of #1 in top 10 market capitalization. But there's an indirect contributor, which is Leopold Aschenberger. His collapse cleared out all uncertainties of sudden removal of selling pressure, for his liquidation was absorbed by another institution known as Citato. Don't misunderstand that people celebrated the collapse of situational awareness. No such things. It is a misleading saying. The Federal Reserve kept the interest rate unchanged is also a factor. After that, AMD rose 30% and PHLX jumped 8% are also important factors, but mainly due to the good result on MSFT, which is better than expectations. However, we cannot just tell the effects are from these factors only. We still have to view on the technical side. Before the result announcement, I've already said in my daily report to buy at low for MSFT. Please refer to the following website of ihandbook.org. Click on the right top bar for the pull-down menu and click US Stock Express and click Browse All Editions for the full-length version, or another website of investbig.com for concise version. In the past few months, MSFT have been dropping and form a reverse head and shoulders, and the power is concentrated on the right shoulders and is ready to break up to penetrate the 250 SMA, which will be a buying signal on penetration. Now it is so easy to prove this head and shoulders is a genuine pattern. But before that, people were afraid that MSFT would continue to fall, or even if not falling, still will keep in a low level and do not know when it will go up. Now, no such worry about this. As for MEDA, it had just gained back the ranking of #1 in top 10 market capitalization. The head and shoulders is quite controversial. It is not a general pattern, but cannot be said to be false, only a weak pattern. For once, it penetrated the neckline, but when going downward, it touched the year line and rebounded, and this time again penetrated downward again and touched the 250 SMA twice and rebounded. It has not finished running the measured down level. Even the 250 SMA is a stronger support, but also has forced penetration that is rebound at once. But for MU, it is so simple and clear that it is a false pattern. It used 2 months to form a head and shoulders pattern, but had a false penetration. In last Wednesday, it filled the jumping gap of late May, which formed this pattern. This is a standard false penetration because it only penetrated in a big black candlestick for 1 day, and the other day bounced up. So what happened on Wednesday? It is the IPO of the CXMT in China. Readers can refer to my daily report on that day. To sum up, the coming week, technically, the worst days are gone and investors can hope for better sunny days. The situation is tomorrow is another day. The Korean market had a record breaker of rising 70.91%, which is the largest rise in history in a single day on Friday, and led to a stock high. S&P is in a symmetric triangle and ready to move up. DJIA found support on the 50 SMA and all the way in an integral rising trend. NASDAQ is going up and dissolve the selling signal. But for the situation of the world, it still has a lot of uncertainties, such as the Iranian war and petroleum prices. Even Hamas agreed to give up arms. Even Saudi Arabia will guard the Red Sea with allies. The ILGC is hard to control the local military power, for they have been given power, arms, and funding to lower level in order to avoid decapitation. So they won't listen to central government now. On coming Friday, there will be an employment report. The unemployment rate will be kept unchanged, and we have to turn to non-farm payroll to see how AI is replacing human jobs. Anyway, the sentiment is better than last week, and we can have reasonable, better expectations. So, sayonara, adieu, auf Wiedersehen, bye bye, see you next week.